Hi everyone. In today's video, I'm going to talk about several ways to mix black paint using colors you may already have on your palette. We'll talk about how these mixtures work and how to create different blacks and why you would want to. I mean, a tube of black paint, very convenient, easy to use, but the problem is that it's often flat, and especially when you're doing shadows. Shadows aren't always just black, right? They take on the shading from uh, things that surround them. So mixing your own black is a really good idea, and it helps you save on paint too. You know, you can use what you already have rather than going out and buying a tube of black. So the first mix I want to show you is probably one of the more common ones, and it's ultramarine blue and burnt umber. And you can also use burnt sienna. Some people prefer that. I find the burnt umber mixes really quickly because burnt umber is so dark. And the reason you get a black from mixing ultramarine blue and burnt umber is that you have your blue, and the burnt umber has a little touch of red and a touch of yellow, so you have all three primaries. And when you have all three primaries, you get like a dull, muddy brown color. And in this case, because I'm going to have a little bit more blue than the burnt umber, it's going to be a dark, rich black. And when you're mixing, you can adjust as you go. So you know, if your mix is too much on the blue side, which this one is, you can see it better if I swatch it out here. You can just add a little bit more burnt umber to it and darken it down a little bit. If it's too much on the brown side, you can add a bit more a little bit more I'm sorry, a little bit more ultramarine. So now we have a nice rich dark black color. And to this, you can always add, I'm gonna get this out there, clean off my knife. To any of these black mixes, whoops, you can add a tiny touch of white to get a gray. So it's very versatile to be able to mix your own. And the grays you get, like this one is almost a Payne's gray type thing. And if you want it lighter than that, of course, you can keep adding the white till until you get the shade you want. That's the nice thing about color mixing, is that you can come up with just about anything if you learn a few simple rules about how to mix color and experiment on your own with the colors that you have. Okay, so the next color I wanted to show you is Quinacridone red. And if you don't have Quinacridone red, you can use alizarin crimson will work too. So it was Quinacridone red and Phthalo green. And phthalo green, like all phthalos, is a very intense color. So we're going to start off small and gradually build up. So we'll add that much green, and that might even be too much. We'll see. Okay, let's see what we got there. It looks really dark on the monitor, but to me it has a little bit too much red in it. I don't know if you can see it better when I swatch it, but I think I need a little bit more green. And we'll see what we get. And you can go back and forth with this until you get the shade that you want. There's a nice dark, rich black. And when you mix your own blacks, because they have other colors in them, they're not flat. My black. I'll swatch it side by side to show you. And clean my palette knife. So you can see that, I don't know if you can see on the monitor or not, but if you do experiment with yourself and put a swatch of two black next to it, you can see the difference. That one I used is Mars black. I was going to show you a little bit of the gray. This makes a lovely gray as well. A little bit more. It's a different gray than the other one, of course. And one more. This one I'm going to use 3 primary colors. So blue, and I'm going to use Ultramarine for this one. Red, and we'll try Quinacridone Magenta for this one. I just want to show you that you don't have to stick to the same colors. You can use what you have and mix it up and see what you get. And we're going to add a little yellow. I think this yellow might be a little bit too light. We'll try it and see. That's the thing about mixing colors. You could spend half a day or even a whole day or a couple of days mixing up colors to see what you get. And sometimes you get a color that there is no name for, but it's beautiful. Now with the Quinacridone Magenta and the blue, we should get a beautiful purple. It's one of my favorite purples. That is a beautiful purple. And now we're going to add some of our yellow. This yellow might be too light for this. I may have to switch. I may have to switch to a darker yellow. Normally I would use Hensa yellow medium, but I didn't have any today. And I'm not close enough to an art store to be able to run and get it. So yeah, it's definitely too light. So we're going to use a little bit cadmium yellow light, or cadmium yellow medium, sorry, to see if we can darken this. Because now we have, again, all 3 primaries together. And now we're getting a muddy color. I'll keep adding the yellow until you get what you want. And if you're not getting what you want, because this looks like a beautiful chocolate brown, and I'm going to add in some more blue into this mix to darken it. There we go. We're getting it darker. So I'm going to move this aside because I want to compare. Add some more blue. This is a deeper, darker color. A little too bluey for me, so I'm going to put some of this reserved mix in there. There. That's like a warm brown, or a warm black, sorry. And we'll put some over here. So you can compare it to the other blacks that we have there. And you can add a little bit more magenta if you want it even warmer, or even cooler, sorry. So now it's kind of a purpley black, maybe. And we can add some white to that so you can actually see the undertones of it. It's a trick to use when you are trying to figure out what undertones your paint has. You can add a little bit of white, and a lot of times you can see the purpley undertones in this. That might be too light of a gray, I think. Yeah. So I'll add some more. You keep going back and forth until you get what you want. And add a little bit more white. It's a lovely purpley gray that will have uses, I'm sure. And you can still, if you go too far with the white, you can add in some more of your original mixture and darken it down again. And there you go. Now, I know on a phone screen or a TV screen or any kind of monitor, the shades and shadows are going to be slightly different. So the best way to tell is to actually mix your own and then save it in, well, I have a color mixing recipe book. Is just a cheap watercolor book that I keep all my mixes in, and make notes about how I mixed them. That way you can go back and look at it after, right? So you can also mix like sap green, if I have any here. Yep. So green and red will give you a black. So like sap green and crimson. I'm going to show you. This will be the last one I'll show you because it gets boring after a while. But I encourage you to put out all of your paint and experiment. And then you'll be ready for your next painting. You won't have to worry about getting the black. I think I got a little too much there. So that's sap green, and this is the crimson. So now we have a different shade of black. It's almost a brown. You can deepen it even further if you need to. And of course we can add our white into that. With the white you can really see the sap green undertones. makes a lovely gray. And if it's too light, like I said before, or not the gray you want, just keep mixing again until you get what you need. I haven't got much paint left there. So mixing a black can be a great way to improve your understanding of color theory and what colors come together to make different colors. Mixing your own black often gives you more life to the painting, more depth, and because two black is so flat, and it's not to say you can't use two black. Of course you can, but I think you'll get a more satisfying painting if you learn to mix your own blacks. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day.